Uh, Atheist. Now, this one ought to be interesting. How are you?
How are you?
I am doing well. How about yourself, brother?
Well, frustrated because most people
Why is
aren't.
that?
Tired of just stupidity.
What do you mean?
All they want to talk about is dicks and vaginas and
Yeah, it's very. It's I've come across that a lot myself. Now, your name immediately struck me. I'm a professional speaker, and one of the things I talk about is my conversion to Christianity from atheism using only science and philosophy. Now, I don't know if the name was just that if the name atheist just popped in your head, or if you now are you actually an atheist? Let me ask you that.
sure.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Now, why is it that you are an atheist? Why is that? Let's kind of dive into that there.
Lack of just a lack of any kind of evidence that proves it is.
A lack of any kind of evidence that proves it. Okay. Now, that was my thought process at one point as well. Now, when you say a lack of evidence, let me ask you this: what type of evidence would you look for? Would it take for you to acknowledge that there is, in fact, a God that exists?
Ooh, this sounds like it's going to be good. This sounds like it's going to be good.
Well, it would be demonstrable, but it, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, so it would have to be pretty extraordinary.
I agree that Andrew, this should be interesting. Thank you for the message. I agree that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Let me ask you this: do you believe in the theory of evolution?
No,
Then how do you believe that life arose? Then
I don't know.
you don't know. Well, see now that's a very interesting thing because if you don't know, you don't know how life came to be, but you state that you are an atheist. Now, an atheist is a flat out rejection of the existence of any sort of deity, whereas an agnostic is someone that questions whether or not a deity exists. Um, so when you make this statement that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, that's a very valid in a lot of ways. That's a very valid statement. But when you look at it, um, there have been, if you look at the historicity, most people, as I stated, I've been I converted to Christianity from atheism, and a vast majority of people will often say that there is not enough evidence outside of the Bible to prove the historicity and the historical facts surrounding the life of Jesus of Nazareth. However, there are more than 15 sources outside of the Bible from the Roman emperor. From the Roman historian Tacitus, from the Jewish historian Josephus, and various others that confirm every single detail of the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And when you look at it, a famous Russian astronomer once made the statement. He said, "Either there is a God or there isn't. Both possibilities are extremely frightening." Um, so being that you don't know where God comes from, or if there is a God or not, do you have any sense of morality at all?
Of
What are your
course,
views on morality?
morality is based on empathy for others.
Right, but what do you base your morality on?
Like I said, it's based on empathy for others.
Right, but how do you define how can you define empathy when you don't have an objective standard upon which to base it off of? You see that
I don't need it. It's uh, morality is not objective. You don't need objective morality.
so you don't believe that morality is objective. You believe that it is only subjective.
Right. I've talked to apologists before. Believe me, I know what you're talking about. You can try.
Well, I mean,
I know
the
these
positive,
arguments.
these arguments. I mean, so I take it then that you have you when you say these arguments, I'm going to make the assumption here that you've kind of probably either listened to or come across some of the talks of the popular Christian apologists, such as the guys like William Lane Craig, Dinesh D'Souza. I'm going to assume you've kind of heard some of their takes on the argument. Is that fair to say?
What's even what I can say is I actually debate apologists in churches and get paid for it.
I do the same thing. I travel and debate atheists and get paid for it.
Well, there
That's
you
the
go.
irony of this
Then you
situation.
met your match.
Well, I may well we I may have I may
Yep.
have but I think the irony of this is that most you know based on the initial statement that you made, when you look at the nature of the universe and you look at the fact that everything that begins to exist has a cause. We know that the universe began to exist. Therefore,
Cosmological argument. Yes, I know.
yes, the Kalam cosmological argument.
So yeah, you
That
don't have to
argument,
tell me what it is. I know what it is.
right? I mean, it seems to me that that argument is irrefutable. I mean,
No,
especially given the fact.
you're making a leap of faith and saying the cause is God without any evidence.
No, absolutely not.
Yes, you are.
Not at all. Whatever
All
created
right.
the whatever cre- well, let's go with the modern scientific theory, right? In 2004, Auburn Board, Alan Guth, and Alexander Vilenkin were able to prove that any universe that has been in a state of cosmic expansion throughout its history cannot be eternal in the past, but rather must have had an absolute beginning. And as is required, whatever create in the Big Bang, time, space, and matter came into existence at the same time. They had to come into existence at the same time because if there was matter and space but no time, when would you put it? If there was time but matter and no space, where would you put it? And so the God of the Bible has to operate outside of the laws of physics. He has to operate outside of the laws of time and space and matter. As the creator of something, you must be able to operate outside of whatever laws upon which it operates. And we know that the universe had to begin to exist based on the fact that our universe is in fact expanding. And I see no way for the atheist to work around that. Before the atheist can tell me that there is no God, they must explain the irreducible complexity of life, and they have to tell me. It seems to me that an atheist takes a much larger leap of faith than a Christian or even a
Oh, I
Muslim
love that
or
one. I love
that
that
believes in
one.
the deity. Because you're telling me that nothing created everything. I mean
No, I'm not.
that's
No, I'm not.
absolute. How so? I'd love to hear this one.
Because
I
the
love the responses I
singularity
get
is
to
a
these.
something. It's not a nothing.
I beg your pardon?
The singularity is a something, not a nothing.
But what does the singularity mean to you from your definition? Because everyone says,
Pure
that's one of
energy.
pardon?
Pure energy.
Where did the energy come from? That's the question that has to be answered.
You can't create energy. You can't destroy energy. It always existed.
Correction. That's not true. That's not true. That is
Prove
that's
it.
an atheist line that you hear on a popular level
No,
sometimes, but
it's
that's
not an
sophisticated.
atheist line. It's a scientific line.
No, that is that's the law of conservation of energy, the law of conservation of matter. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed. That law
Mm-hmm.
really should be revised. Matter cannot be created or destroyed by mankind, because what happens is, if that's true, if that statement is true, then what you're telling me is that the universe is eternal, which is impossible based on the Big Bang cosmology, which is what modern science accepts. Therefore, energy can be created because the initial singularity or what have you was, as they described it, some uh, condensed all this condensed energy that magically became something else.
No
Uh,
magic involved.
well, that's what's described in the science books.
No, it's not.
Nothing created everything. That's what the Big Bang situates. And
No.
no outside force, no outside force acted upon this supposed singularity, but somehow it
What are you
created
talking about?
a big boom created everything.
It wasn't a boom. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know exactly. It's a Big Bang. It's boom bang, however you want to term it.
No, it's not a boom or a bang. The scientists named it like that for the layman, but it's not literally a boom or a bang.
Okay. It's not a boom or bang. Okay, that's very interesting. Studied the subject for 15 years, but it's neither a
Well, you
boom
got
nor a
it
bang.
wrong.
I would disagree. So if
Okay,
so,
disagree all you want.
going back to the initial question, the origin of life. Uh, how do you think things came to be? If you deny the theory of evolution,
I told you I don't know.
you don't
That
know
doesn't prove that God did it.
that. That's it is written that an argument is what it takes to convince a reasonable man, and a proof to convince an unreasonable man of something. But it's very interesting when you look at um, atheists or agnostics. I think the greatest.
Everybody's agnostic. Everybody.
That's not true. Actually, that's not true at all.
Do you
Because
know this
and I can
God?
easily refute that argument by saying I'm not an agnostic, because I say that I know emphatically that
No,
there
you
is.
don't.
Oh, I do. I'm sorry to tell you, I
How
do.
do you know?
I can tell you. See,
How
again,
do you know?
what do you mean? How do I know?
You said
I
you
can
know. How do you know?
I because I have tested the theory. I have tested it.
Oh,
I
you
have
tested
examined
it.
I have examined the evidence. I have drawn a conclusion based on evidence, and I can tell you for a certainty that I know who God is and who
There
He
is
is
no
not.
certainty.
Oh yes, absolutely. What do you mean? There's no certainty? Are you sure you want to make that statement?
Yep.
Okay. So when you say there's no certainty, define what you mean.
Means you connect it 100% to the truth ever.
That's not true. That's absolutely not true. Because if that's the case, then I can. 100% truth is that I exist. That's 100% fact. So that right there, that statement
No,
alone.
it's not.
Oh yes.
How is that 100% fact?
Am I not? Am I not a conscious being? Am I not talking right now?
As far as I can tell, doesn't make it 100% true.
That's pure bullshit. This guy's a fucking idiot.